Okay, got an interesting model for you here today. We got a 1971 Porsche 911T that's been heavily outlawed by Magnus Walker. In fact, he calls it Urban Outlaw, which that's an interesting moniker, and I think he's probably got it trademarked by now. So this car's got a lot of stuff on it. And based upon what I'm seeing versus the real car via photos I see on the internet, of course, Hot Wheels tried their best to make it as accurate as they could, but I'm thinking they could not get all the licensing that they needed for this car, so they had to add stuff that maybe they had already licensed in their inventory, or they literally made something up from scratch to look like some tempo. But this car's not 100% accurate. So let's get into it and talk a little bit about it. There's going to be some things that I honestly don't know what they are. So perhaps somebody can chime in and tell me exactly what I'm missing. So once again, 911T Urban Outlaw by Magnus Walker. Nice little Porsche from 1971. Would I have chosen a T model? I guess it's okay. There's better models of Porsche from that year, but a T is okay. On the right side of this car, they have the jack point modeled. Very nice touch. They got the door handle model. They got the side mirrors model. Now, the side mirrors are not very good. They're just little dots on the side of the car, but it is modeled. And it does have a right-hand side mirror, which is interesting. Once again, I talk about it often. At least I know Porsches at this point in time, you had the option of ordering a side mirror or not on the right-hand side. So this one does have it. Perhaps Magnus put it on his car. We got clear glass windows in this car with the passenger and the driver's sides rolled down in terms of the door windows. Tempo-wise, we've got a great big 277 on the side, and I assume that's something that Magnus Walker likes, 277. If it has some significance, once again, please let me know. Love to hear it. Then we go on to more of the tempo. He's got, or rather, Hot Wheels has got a Porsche logo on the right side rocker panel, and there's a stripe that goes all the way down the rocker panel as well, down the side of the car. Got the Hot Wheels logo on there, right on the front of the door. Then we got an unknown tempo. Kind of looks like an S. Now, looking on the real car, it looks like there's a track outline where this S thing is on this Hot Wheels. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Perhaps the S, or the kind of sideways S, kind of sideways W, maybe that's something for Magnus Walker. I have no idea, but it's something that I don't recognize. Does someone else recognize it, and could you tell me what it is? Then we've got a 52, then moving up to a second column of tempo. This is all in columns, by the way. We got the Magnus Walker crest, his Urban Outlaw crest, I would call it. Then we got an R8 for, what does that mean? Rate. Then we got MW in letters, just great big MW capital letters. Next column, we've got the Porsche logo. We've got, once again, we've got the Urban Outlaw logo on there, and then we've got the Great Britain symbol in the circle, as many of us have seen previously. One thing about this car is the wheels are not accurate at all. And that's an interesting touch, because I'm pretty confident that Magnus Walker designed his own wheels for this particular car. Now, these are not Fuchs for absolute certain. I've never seen a Fuchs on a Porsche, but I don't believe these are Magnus Walker wheels either. I think these are just stock wheels out of the Hot Wheels bin that they've thrown on there. If I'm incorrect, feel free. Tell me what is correct. Now, coming on around, we've got the blue bumper up front. We've got, once again, the capital MW on the hood. We've got the Porsche crest. Then we've got Momo on the hood, steering wheel manufacturer. Pretty cool. Once again, we've got the 277. Now, the 277, in this particular case, it almost looks like the tempo was manufactured wrong, or perhaps on the real car, he intended, it looks like there's been one piece of tempo put on top of another piece of tempo, and they didn't line up. Is that the way the real car is, folks? I don't know. Then we have the actual Porsche crest. We've got the headlights done very poorly on this car. Very, very poorly. They're not colored. and they don't have any real definition on the front of those fenders. The turn signals, they've been modeled, they look good. The front bumper looks good in blue, accurate to what I remember Magnus Walker's car looking like. So let's come on around again. Car looks good from this side. Once again, most of these cars look great from pretty much any angle. If you've got a good Hot Wheels car, you got a good Hot Wheels. Now the tempo on this side is a little bit better than the right side. Same tempo, but it just has more definition. So at the factory in Malaysia, this car was made in Malaysia, they have tempo that when they pull it out of the bin, it might be a good piece of tempo. It might not be the best piece of tempo. Hard to say what you're getting on any one particular car. From the rear, looks great. Once again, got the blue bumpers, got the red turn signals, backup lights on there, brake lights. Got the engine cover in red with the grille for heat dissipation in white. That's an interesting decision on Magnus Walker's part. I'm trying to think why you would want that in white other than it looks cool. It definitely does, but I would think it would get darkened fairly quickly. I'm not sure I would have went with white, but it fits the motif of the car fairly well. On that red engine cover, you've got Porsche all the way across it. Very nicely done. You've got two tailpipes coming out the rear. You got the big bumperettes on there as well. Let's take a look at the rear of the car, straight on. As you can see, the paint not really well done on this particular car. It is a mainline car, so this is a lot of stuff on a mainline car, I have to admit. But the paint also is a mainline car quality. Will Hot Wheels come back one day and do this car in a RLC configuration? Perhaps. I think that's what they should have done in the first place. They should have done a premium or an RLC version of this car and skipped the mainline, because I think their mainline cars are underappreciated. You just got too many kids at the grocery stores buying them and playing with them and destroying them, and they just aren't appreciated like they should be. This car could be done so much better, I believe, if more emphasis was put on the car. Switching back to the side here real quick. One thing I didn't note is there's no gas filler cap on this car modeled. Interesting decision. Car looked great from that angle, as we would expect. When flipped on its side, you can see the Urban Outlaw logo on the top of the car. Looks pretty good. Now, apparently, Mr. Walker has a thing for British cars, because he's fitted this in a British livery, if you will. Interesting touch. It looks good. Looks really good. Looks good in his videos. Finally, coming to the bottom of the car, we've got the transmission modeled. We've got the exhaust model. We've got a muffler there. Once again, a couple of exhaust tips. We've got suspension. We've got front suspension. We've got, obviously, the model name, 911 Porsche, 1971 Porsche 911. Got the skew, and we've got the country of production, which is Malaysia. So back around to the side again. Good looking car. I enjoyed bringing it to you. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe, and have a great day.